And if you're drunk, you have impaired affected cognition, senses, and uncoordinated moving, change of mood, like you were in high spirits, now getting low to melancholy, something like this. And you have prolonged time of reaction, from nausea to vomiting, is everything possible. And following of loss of memory, breathlessness, and dyspnea. And it's getting lethal if you have 4 to 5% of alcohol, and the death occurs by respiratory paralysis, and your circulation will not work anymore.
Hey, what's up, Vox and Hops heads? I'm Matt, the vocalist of Cryptopsy and the host of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, brought to you by Sound Talent Media, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians to talk about their lives, music, and craft beer. I most certainly hope you've been having a wonderful week, but guess what, people? It's Friday. That's right, people. We made it through another week, and it's finally the weekend. All month of February is, of course, Vox and Hops' Sober February, where I have conducted interviews in order to promote a healthy, balanced relationship with alcohol, and it is something that I believe is truly important, something that we should all think about, something that we should all reevaluate. And now that we are just about halfway through February, I got to tell you that I'm feeling great and I'm really enjoying this. So balance is the key, and that is something that I want you to all think about, please. Before we jump into today's episode, I just want to cordially invite you to the party. That's right, I just launched the Vox and Hops newsletter. Sign up to my newsletter, which you can do on my website, voxandhops.com. That is VOXANDHOPS.com. And when you do that, you shall receive one email a week containing everything that has happened during the past week of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast, including all details concerning any episodes which have dropped that week, if I have been a guest on someone else's podcast, as well as the link for the upcoming Thirsty Thursday virtual hang, and of course, the link to the Brutal Awakenings playlist, which is curated by my man, Jerry Monk, the metal architect himself. He digs through all of the music releases every Friday so that he can pick the hottest, the freshest, the coolest, the most extreme releases, and he puts them all into the Brutal Awakenings playlist for our listening pleasure. I love what Jerry is doing. I love his selection style. He just finds the best stuff out there. So if you're looking for the coolest new stuff to listen to, the Brutal Awakenings playlist is the playlist for you. And you get the link to that directly in your inbox every week if you sign up to the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast newsletter. I'd also just like to ask you to take the time to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. But more than that, I'm asking you to rate it and write a review, because when you write a review or you rate it, it really, really helps the podcast get some visibility on the podcast platforms. So if you want to help the podcast grow, you would like to help more people just like yourself discover the podcast, write a review, and I would be extremely grateful for that. Now, on today's Vox and Hops episode, I am with Christian Degen. Now, Christian Degen is the session bassist of AHAB, the amazing doom metal band. But more than that, Christian has a master's and a PhD in nutritional science, and he's about to tell us exactly what happens when we ingest alcohol. So this is a heavy episode, but it's extremely informative, and Christian is awesome. So get ready, people. This is Vox and Hops episode number 230.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Today I am with Christian Degen, who is a session bassist for the excellent band AHAB. You have a degree in nutritional science. You have a master's in that. You've moved on to do a PhD in that. And I put a call out on Facebook asking if I had any friends out there that knew anyone that can help me talk about the effects of alcohol. And a Vox and Hops alumni came to my rescue within like an hour that I put this post out. The great Chris Hector of AHAB told me that he knew you and you were perfect, and he put us in touch. So here we are. This is Vox and Hops' Sober February, and I've been wanting to do this for a very, very long time. Just dig into the what are the effects of alcohol? What happens when we drink too much alcohol? What happens when we drink alcohol? And you seem to be the perfect person to answer all of these questions. So let's just start by me saying, how are you doing? How have you been? How have you been coping with this glorious year that we just went through, 2020?
Hi, Matt. Thank you for the invitation. And I'm glad that I can do it. I had a quite special year, like probably everyone. And we had a lot of time spending at our homes, thinking about something, what is really important, what is not important. At least health is important. And the health of my friends is important. To have a job is really nice as well. To stay at home is not that kind of easy. But as Chris mentioned a couple of months earlier during this session, it's not that hard sometimes in Germany. We were allowed to go out. Now it's getting harder, and a lot of people are dying. And at least what everybody is thinking about is hope. And a restart in 2021, or at least, let's say, 2020X, whatever. But everybody is looking forward to this. And what I have been missing is just kind of this luxury problems. To rehearsals were not possible. You cannot go to concerts, not possible. You can not play any concerts, not possible. But at least what's the best in 2020 was meeting friends for special occasions and a couple of days during the year, especially during the summer. This was very nice, and I will keep this in mind. But 2020 was a rush, just like moving fast on the Autobahn, you
know. Absolutely. It is a special thing that we're missing, getting out onto stage and playing, going to see shows, just going to your friend's house and having a chat, seeing our parents. It's all stuff that I miss dearly. So a lot of people are staying home by themselves or with loved ones, and they are overindulging in alcohol a little bit too much. I know for myself, when it started, I definitely dove in deep at the beginning because it was easy to. So I would like you to introduce yourself, your credentials. Why are you an expert in this field, and why should people believe what you're about to tell them throughout the next course of this interview?
Actually, I just can say that what keeps you to an expert is just like, okay, if you study something like nutritional sciences, you also get to know the mechanism of physiology, and also you get an view into metabolism. You get also views into toxicology, into elimination, and you also get the crossing and missing links, and you are also able to read scientific papers, to make your own, you can choose what opinion you want to say is not even true or false, but you can say, okay, there might be this issue, might be that, but I will not follow the links on, let's say, Wikipedia or Facebook or something like that. I choose the official links and, well-known scientific papers. And also I got books at home, something like this, and I just prepared the whole day for this topic, and so I just figured out on the schedule we discussed before what is possible to say and what is not possible to say. And first of all, I just have to say alcohol is not the best friend of the human body, so that's it.
On that note, Vox and Hops is all about hanging out with my metal friends and talking about their lives, talking about some music, and talking about craft beer. So what beer do you have on your side that we're going to virtually share today?
I got one alcoholic draft beer. It's from Hamburg. It's a nice calling one called Okie Dokie.
I love it.
It's at least just like a broad beer, not very hopped, and just less sugared, just like 5 grams of sugar. And looking forward to this. It's the only craft beer I was able to buy in a local store. And there is another one. I bought it during summer when we were in the Netherlands. It's a company called Brand. Maybe all of them know maybe the brandy. And so this is just Brand, a small one. It's an alcohol-free IPA, and I don't know, my Dutch is not that best, but this is very, very strong hopped alcohol-free beer, and this one is very, very good.
Excellent. So crack one of those open while I introduce mine. I'm drinking something very special, something brand new from here in Montreal. This is La Bête Lumineuse. This is their Fantômas, and it is not a beer. It is a kombucha, but it's a microbrewery kombucha, and it's very cool because Le Saint-Bock Brasserie Artisanale, which is a place right downtown on Saint Denis Street. And if anyone has been listening to my podcast early on, you know that I've done countless interviews there before the pandemic, because it is so close to so many venues downtown Montreal that I normally just meet up with my friends at the venue and I take them for a short walk to the Saint-Bock. Because of all the strict liquor laws that have been happening here in Quebec, they could not sell their beer anymore, so they reinvented themselves and they started making non-alcoholic beer, and their head brewer Philippe Tremblay started this company, Bête Lumineuse, and started making kombucha. So this is a very cool one that is made with strawberry, rhubarb, Haskap berries, and pineapple. I've never had it. I'm excited to have it. I'm going to crack it open and see what this has got. On that, while I'm doing that, let me know about, do you remember your very first beer, Christian? Do you remember the first beer you ever drank?
Yes, I did. I think I was 14, and it was a very strong hop beer, just long before it was getting popular. It's called Jefer. It's named after a German town. It's a small town in the north of Germany. And it was at least not this full-bodied, full alcohol beer. It was just called this Jefer Light, like this Miller Light I saw in the States, something like this. So it's just 2.5% of alcohol. And after that, my dad gave me a Jefer Fun. And I didn't know what fun mean at least, but it was just alcohol-free. So this was my second one.
That's so fitting. I love it. This pours out absolutely gorgeous. Look at the color on this. It smells amazing. Cheers.
Cheers.
And this is, of course, is alcohol-free too. Ooh, you can smell it. It smells like a strawberry rhubarb pie. Oh, it's amazing. It's not too sweet. A lot of kombuchas, way too sweet. This is great. Great. La Bête Lumineuse. If you can get it, people, please get it. Do you partake in craft beer? Is that something that interests you? Are you an avid craft beer enthusiast?
I really was digging into this craft beer stuff when it became popular, and also the people stepped out of the normal way to just drink beer, so they got to new other ways for doing beer, and especially in Germany it's quite hard because you by tradition you are just allowed to use malt, hop, yeast, and
water.
Water, that's it. And so they came up with new hops, and so the market started to getting bigger and bigger, and so the people started getting interested, and they tried out something, and I think also the advertisement was getting better a bit, and so people stepped more from this consuming too much here on the point to, okay, just try one maybe on the evening, because one is also that kind of expensive, like 5 of my cheap beers. And maybe that's also a good point of view, to take the point more on the taste than on the volume of, or the amount of beers. So this is also a good point of craft beer stuff.
Yes, in a perfect world, yes. But not everyone follows those rules, which is why I'm very, very, very interested in the effects of alcohol on the human body. So let's start this off. First off, I want to know exactly, like, someone is sober, they haven't had a drink in, let's say, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. What is the exact first thing that happens when you start to drink? That first time that the alcohol gets introduced to the human body, what is going on there?
Maybe just not many people know how does it work. At least, what is the point? It works passive diffusion. There are no transporters in our body that will carry alcohol from A to B. It's passive diffusion. So, and alcohol is soluble in water and lipids as well. And if you drink, the first thing, it will be absorbed in your mouth, like 10%.
Really? Okay.
Something else, yeah. That's also the reason why when the police is catching you, you need to take this
breathalyzer. Oh,
by breath.
Okay.
Because you have already alcohol in your mouth. And if you get the alcohol in other ways in your body, they will not find something, at least by brief testing. Okay, and the next thing is stomach. The stomach is also absorption possible up to 20%, and it depends if you have a meal or something, or if you have a fatty meal or more proteins, then it will take longer. That the alcohol will pass into the upper small intestine, where the mainly absorption will happen, nearly 75%. And it depends on how many you eat, on how many and fast you are drinking, and the maximal blood concentration of the alcohol that depends on your intake will occur in your blood after 1 to 2 hours. And if you want to go faster, you need to warm up your alcohol, add some sugar, drink faster, add carbonate to it, or even you need to have an empty stomach. But if you want to have it slower and even smooth, then if you already have a high alcohol concentration in your stomach, that's okay. But if you combine it with protein and fat, and also a full stomach, it will take longer.
Okay. Which makes sense.
Yeah, of course. And at least it depends also on your personal constitution. And so if you drink the day before, so I don't need to tell you it's getting worse. But actually it depends also on your frequency, how many you're drinking every day. And of course, alcohol needs space into your body, because if you just weigh like 70 kilograms like me, you need less alcohol to get to get drunk than compared to somebody who is double weighted. He needs more. But the liver is kind of nearly the same amount of weight, so it's not that big difference. And of course, there's a difference in gender, male and female. This will happen if you drink. And elimination of alcohol is 2 by 10% of excretion by kidney, lungs, skin, sweat, saliva, gastric juice, bile juice, and also very important, by milk. It's also possible to eliminate alcohol by milk. So this is a good hint for women.
Yes, who are breastfeeding.
Yeah, so you will feed your baby also with alcohol. And the oxidation mainly occurs within the liver, nearly 80 to 85%. And do you know what drunk means? It means 1.5 gram per liter blood, or even this 1.5 per mil.
Really? No, see, I didn't know that.
This is just like, okay, you're drunk by definition.
Okay.
So, and if you're drunk, you have impaired affected cognition, senses, and uncoordinated moving, change of mood, and change of mood, like you were in high spirits, now getting low to melancholy, something like this.
Up and down, yeah.
And you have prolonged time of reaction, from nausea to vomiting, is everything possible, and following of loss of memory, breathlessness, and dyspnea. And it's getting lethal if you have 4 to 5% of alcohol, and the death occurs by respiratory paralysis, and your circulation will not work anymore.
Wow.
And the elimination of alcohol depends also on gender, and it occurs to have 60 to 200 milligrams per kilogram per hour. So if you are healthy, it's just like, okay, you will eliminate 100 milligram per kilogram per hour. And I just did a small calculation that somebody can imagine what I'm talking about. So in Germany, there's something that is called Herrengedeck. I think in the States it's called a beer and a chaser.
Okay, beer and a chaser, which is a pint of beer and a shot.
Yeah, correct. And if you have a 2 cl shot with a small beer is just like 250 milliliters, okay, and your weight is 70 kilograms, you will intake 23.5 grams of alcohol, and you will need 3.5 hours to degrade it.
Wow.
And if you are sober, your blood concentration will be 0.5 per mil. Yeah, so this is something you can imagine. Okay, this Herrengedeck, and I have a small time scale of fun, but it takes me 3.5 hours to get sober again.
Insane. But our body is amazing, and it still does it. But we got to take care of it.
And mainly in the liver, the enzymes are responsible for it. And fun facts are just like, if you're getting older, the effects are getting less. So the enzymes will not work that kind of good when you're getting older. But you can also induce systems within the liver that are responsible to also degrade alcohol. So we have different points. And somebody, maybe they think about, okay, can we induce the degradation of alcohol? No, it's not possible with the main way that I was telling you, with the enzymes. Just like it's linear. So it's 60 to 200 milligrams, that's it. But if you're a regular drinker and you drink very excessive, you can induce the other systems, and they will also degrade the alcohol faster.
Very, very interesting. Let's move into more negatives. This whole episode is not going to be negative. We're going to dance into some positive, but there's a lot of stuff that I want to cover. So let's talk about binge drinking. People that drink heavily for many, many days in a row. What is considered binge drinking to start off with, and what would be some of the consequences of that?
Binge drinking was something that is called alcohol abuse, and by definition you drink 5 units or more within a couple of less than 2 or 3 hours, something like this. And 1 unit will be 0.12 liter of wine, or even just 0.4 liter of beer, or just a shot of spirit.
Wow.
And now you can see, okay, 5 beers are just binge drinking.
They're not coming to my parties.
No, it's just 1.8 liter of beer.
Wow.
Just in Germany, it's just like 4 bigger ones, or even 6 of these small cans. Okay, but if you drink it really fast, you're getting, I think you will feel it.
Yes, absolutely.
But at least this is just a definition, and binge drinking, I just recognize it, and you also did it when you visiting parties or something like this, or you visiting bars. People drink more, and what they don't know is that binge drinking is very dangerous to the body. And at least if they say, okay, but I don't drink 6 days, it's just this one time a week that I want to make party and I want to feel something. No, I think this acute hit to your body will also hit your body harder. And at least it is discussed that alcohol will also damage your proteins in the gut, the so-called tight junctions. And if they are damaged, some ingredients or some parts of bacteria, of gram-negative bacteria, it's called endotoxin, will translocate through from the inner gut to, let's say, the liver, and this will lead to inflammation.
Wow.
Can lead to inflammation, and this is not. You don't have to imagine this is not that kind of explosion, right? It's just like this smaller and smaller steps that happen again and again and again. This binge drinking happens from week to week. You hit your body from week to week to week, then you imagine from month to month, from year to year. And that's why they say, okay, if you do it even longer, you will cut your lifetime, of course.
Wow.
By maybe, just increasing risk factors. And so binge drinking was getting popular, and it is popular right now. Especially it's very dangerous if you're young. It's also dangerous if you're old, but at least we don't mind. And but I think people will change their minds, and if you're getting older, you're getting more smart sometimes.
You would hope so. You would hope so, Christian.
I hope so.
How about on the other side, instead of binge drinking, we have a low intake, but every day?
The low intake every day is discussed more difficult. Maybe some of you have heard of the J-curve.
I have not, but you mentioned it in our discussions, and I was very curious as to what that was.
There's a discussion under the way that one standard drink per day, what it means 14 gram of ethanol per day, or let's say 100 gram of ethanol per week. And 14 gram of ethanol is just like, you can compare it to a small beer.
Wow.
Just like this 330 milliliters, or in the States it's 12 ounces, and or one shot is also possible per day.
Wow.
Per
That's
day.
Nothing.
So, and that is something really, really funny to imagine if you're a metalhead and you like to go out to the concert and you like to. Yeah, you join your concert quite early, let's say 5 in the evening, and the first band step on stage and they just ask the audience, okay, it's J-curve week until the end of our lives. So now you have to choose to drink your beer right now or even later. But please be aware, just one. Just fucking one per day, per week, until the end of your fucking life. What do you think will happen next to the first band?
It better be a good beer, that's for sure.
Yeah. So there are many studies that are investigating this issue and this topic, and the most of the studies are meta-analysis. So they just put into They just take several studies and they look on this topic just by epidemiological, statistical issues and calculations. So there are not really good investigations with people, and also maybe they just compare low drinkers with people who never drink or something, but maybe this is the problem, maybe they are unhealthy. And they are unhealthy that they cannot drink. And so if they are unhealthy and not able to drink something, they are not the best comparable. So this is a bias within the studies. But what is true, and what is also everybody is convinced that it's true, if you're raising your alcohol consumption, it's getting worse. So, and this is the J-curve. So you have an area under the curve that might be good for health, but mainly it's the area over the curve, over the axis that is bad and cause mortality at all, or even have an impact on kind of pathological diseases. And this is so-called also the black swan event. Maybe you heard of something else like just like smoking causes lung cancer.
Yeah, correct.
This is also a black swan.
Okay.
And what's also the problem with this issue of to drink or not to drink is if you compare, if you are just drinking, okay, now we are just looking at on alcohol, but 71% of the drinkers are smokers. And if you're a smoker, you have also more risk for bad health issues. And this is just a combination within the investigation that cannot be made that good. And so if you have too many combinations, it's quite hard to make a really good point.
Absolutely.
So, and that's why I would like to say, okay, if it's possible to drink very low, yes, then you should drink low all your lifetime. And this is not possible. So if you have to choose, okay, drink less, but don't count on something stupid like the J-curve. If you ever read about it, make your own mind. If you're feeling good, drink something, but if you're not feeling that good, drink less. And if you have something more than headaches, or even you feel bad and you have a Katzenjammer or hangover, yeah, try to avoid alcohol for a longer time, and next time drink less.
I love it. Are there any positive effects with alcohol? Because I've been hearing for years, I think it's been disproven recently, the red wine is good for the heart thing. Are there any positive effects with alcohol on the human body?
The ingredients in drinks across the biofunctionality of the so-called flavonoids you mentioned in red wine, and also there are biofunctionalities within beers. They're from the hops. And if you say, okay, what about spirits? No, spirits not that much biofunctionality because it's too much alcohol. But if you have to choose, if you drink, can also drink grape juice, and there are also the flavonoids within grape juice, and also in tomato juice. There are a lot of positive ingredients within this kind of juice, and this might be interesting for this topic we are talking today, because alcohol-free beer got also this positive ingredients of hops. Mm-hmm. So, and that's why it was also getting very popular. And maybe you recognize the sports industry was first. Okay, right now we also do advertisement for alcohol-free beer, and our national team will drink beer. What? They do? Yeah, of course, but they drink 0.0 beer, okay, alcohol-free beer.
Oh, very cool.
And so it's getting popular to drink alcohol-free beer. And it's also crossed with this, image of a fresh drink. And it might be also half positive. But at least it's nothing else than a lemonade. Mm-hmm. And so there are less sugar within the beer, and also it tastes good. But if you want to have a functional food or something like this, I will not count on alcohol. And I would also not count on red wine or something like this. And there's just if you're drinking low or drinking smart, okay, most of the people also try to take a look on their food and also on their behavior. They try to cook something good. They try to stay calm. And this is also some kind of thing everybody might know from the French paradoxon. So they just eat cheese and baguette and drinking red wine and getting healthy. What? Okay, it must be the red wine, of course. So no, maybe it's the kind of how they live. So they just talk and they use their time when they sit together and they eat their food and just stay a bit calm and try to relax. So, and if you relax and drink one glass of wine, that's okay. I think this is a good combination of balance in your life. So if you try to get balance and if you have something that tastes good and you try to count on taste and not on the rush, this might be the point of biofunctionality and alcohol.
Why do people drink too much?
I think sometimes it's kind of a social behavior. So if you meet your friends and you drink one beer, okay, let's drink another one. Why not drink another one? And something like this. And this was maybe the first step. And a couple of days later you will do it again. And of course this was fun and you will do it again and again. This is the social thing. People meet each other and they drink something. If you have problems on your own or problems in life, okay, you use also this physiological effects of getting drunk because you lose your memory if you drink a lot. So you stop thinking and you maybe some of you might get to know it. If you drink too much and you cannot remember what happened the last night.
Blackouts.
And not everybody wants to have a blackout, of course, but some of them don't want to think that much. This might be also one point that you drink alone on your own. And I think these are the two main topics why people drink that much and too much. And but for this, I'm not an expert in social investigations, why and why not. But these 2 points come first to my mind.
Very interesting. Why do people end up getting fat when drinking too much beer? Why do you see that classic picture of the guy with no shirt with the huge gut, the big beer gut? Where does that come from, and why does it come from the beer? Or does it even come from the beer? Is it just everything else going on?
Yeah, so the first thing maybe we just need to talk about is the degradation of beer. It happens within the liver, I said, and two enzymes are involved, the alcohol dehydrogenase and the aldehyde dehydrogenase. And something at the end of the degradation of alcohol, there's an intermediate called acetate. And this intermediate will get into the Krebs cycle where it will be converted to energy. And okay, this is quite good. But there's a cofactor for this degradation, and this is not the limiting factor. And if you don't have this cofactor in the liver and you drink more and more and more, acetate will become a problem. And the liver doesn't know what to do with acetate. And so the liver says, okay, now we'll build up fatty acids. And fatty acids are free from, not very good to storage. So, okay, let's do triacylglycerides, like fat. And this fat will be stored within the liver. This is so-called fatty liver. This is possible. And this way it can be also, of course, going backward and forward. This is not a problem. And if you have a fatty liver, it's not the same that you are fat.
Yes, of course.
And that you are fat is the reason and the follow, because you drink, you also eat. You drink and eat. Eat and drink, eat. And it's the combination of both. And I think I think you can imagine, if you drink a lot, you're also sitting on the couch and also snacking a lot. Mm-hmm. And this is something that also have to keep in mind. Yeah, of course, alcohol is also, it is not 0 calories, of course, and it's also calories. Alcohol is high in calories, and the simple calculation is putting energy into your body means it's in your body first. It needs to get out. And what you can get out first is water, and this is, energy free, but the energy is still in your body. And of course, if you're drinking 5 till 6 till 8 beers, of course, energy within your body. And what's the problem if you're drinking alcohol is, of course, the body needs the time and also the energy to eliminate your alcohol. And this energy, your body needs to take. They don't have to concentrate on your other things. Just like, okay, there was, what wanted we wanted to do a couple of hours ago? We wanted to build up muscles. No, we can't skip that. Now we have to degrade alcohol. Maybe if you look in the playground like this, or a childish way, into your body, maybe you can imagine something like that.
Absolutely.
Alcohol is toxic and it's a poison. It's nothing really good, and that's why the body tries to eliminate this as fast as possible.
Very, very interesting.
That's why maybe this is one reason why people are getting, or maybe they gain weight. Yeah.
Of when you drink so much that you don't remember what happened, you blacked out. Are there long-term effects to blacking out while drinking?
No, I'm not sure. If I think your memory will not be affected if your physiological condition is still coming back after 3 days. I think something like this. You're quite new. So. I just read that if you're really drunk and you have a hangover, it can be take at least 2 to 3 days that you have effects. Maybe you don't see them as an effect, but the body needs at least 3 days to get really in good shape again.
Wow!
Because if you have really a blackout, it was close to something even worse. So I think you can imagine how close it will be to if you have a blackout to it's really getting hard, and you have respiratory problems, something like this. Like I mentioned before, you're dying because you cannot breathe anymore.
Jesus.
And also, if you drink, you feel less pain, and you also feel feeling less cold. I think a lot of people got to know all the facts, and your coordination is not that good, and a lot of people are dying because not of alcohol within the body, because they're dying what they're doing during the time they are drunk.
That is correct.
So they're falling down somewhere, or they're just driving cars, or they're just doing stupid things. And just like this negative effect, passive effect or something. Huh? And this is also, I think it's important to mention two ways to really have unhealthy conditions caused by alcohol consumption.
Absolutely. This is not something that I asked you to prepare for, but it came to me as we were talking. Anyone who has gone drinking with me, has had some beers with me, I pee a lot. So there's the whole thing of you don't want to break the seal. So you can drink a few beers and then you haven't gone pee yet, but then you go pee and then you go back and you continue drinking and then you have to pee very frequently because you've broken the seal. So what is the science behind that? Why do I pee so much when I drink?
So alcohol blocks a hormone called vasopressin within the kidney, and this hormone is responsible for retaining water in the body, and alcohol blocks it. And so if you're drinking alcohol, you drink the amount of water you put into your body with the drink, as well as the water that you don't want to pee, but your body says, okay, go away. Because something is also possible, the elimination with the kidney is also possible, as I've mentioned before, but just small amounts.
That's correct.
So it's just like 2 to 10%. But the main effect is by blocking this hormone. And if you don't put water into your body, yeah, of course you will have the hangover. Yeah.
Interesting. Which is perfect where I want to go next. What is a hangover? Now, I wrap up all of my interviews for just about a year now asking my guests what their hangover cures are. So I have a bunch of them in the bank that I would like to rattle off towards you to see why they work. But first off, let's cover on what exactly is a hangover.
Hangover is the following condition of your body close to mainly the loss of water.
Really? Okay.
Because you can also compare if you forget to drink. So you're busy at work, you just work for 3 or 4 hours, and your bottle of water is standing next to you, but you forget to drink because you're too busy, and you forget to drink for 4 or 5 hours, you get a headache. Mm-hmm. It's the same principle. You forget to drink, okay, and if you're drinking, it's getting better and better and better. And what you can do for a hangover is also during the party session, of course you're drinking beer and you're drinking spirits, but don't forget to drink water. Maybe drink the same amount of water you drink same amount of drinks. Maybe, of course, you need to pee more than we talked about before, but at least you will do something good for your body. And what is also a reason of getting a hangover, alcohol induces a deficit of calcium, magnesium, and zinc due to this renal excretion. And these ingredients are really important for regular function of muscles and regular function of circulation and something. And if you want to get in shape again, of course you just can do it by food. Good food, good breakfast. And some of them said, okay, let's eat some fish or salty stuff. And at least a passive effect of salty food is you give the hint to your body to drink more. So your body wants something salty. Of course, you love salt. But if you eat something salty, your body also wants more water.
Interesting.
So it's a passive effect also to drink more water. And so mainly what's the important thing, I think I said it right now, 5th time for something, drink water. And if you have a bad circulation, you can also drink a good coffee, because the caffeine within the coffee will rise your circulation up.
Excellent. So you've hit a few of them already. Of the answers that I've gotten from my guests right there, we have the fatty foods, which falls into the salty foods category, so that's why that works. People have mentioned electrolytes. They like to drink Gatorade. In the States, a lot of people have mentioned drinking Pedialyte, which is a special drink filled with electrolytes that parents give children who are very sick and can't hold anything down. Why would that work? Does that fall into the replenishing the salts and the hydration?
At least I think I read also that sugar might be a useful ingredient, but no. Most important is to not to stress you that much, to give the body the regeneration that it needs, and at least what is also very important, if you lose some kind of ingredients like zinc or something, and your immune system is also affected by drinking too much alcohol, it's very important to sleep much.
Yes.
To sleep that much. And unfortunately, it's not really good to sleep the night after the party, because alcohol flattens the curve during the sleeping. You're not sleeping very deeply.
That's
and
correct.
not very good. So maybe it's also very important to stay away the next evening from alcohol and go to bed early. And I think this is also, I heard a couple of times from people that partied too hard. Now I need to get sleep, and I will sleep longer. Yeah, longer.
I've gotten that too.
And I just heard I feel better the next day after, so we're talking about 48 hours after party.
Mm-hmm.
They feel better. And if they skip one evening without drinking, yeah. So the body is really good in regeneration, and we are able to regenerate all the time. And also, like I mentioned, it sounds kind of horror story or something. No, the liver can do many things and can regenerate. But it's the endless point of, if you're getting older, of course. And yeah, you're not that young. Young person, you with this young liver.
Absolutely. Another one that I've gotten, this is a bit more of a weirder one, from the drummer of Hinayana. He likes to take a bath and listen to SMR sound on YouTube, which is just weird YouTube sounds. I'm not sure if you know what that is. Why would a bath help you feel better if you have a hangover?
I think this would be a good issue to study. If we can do a study on something like this, just need to find 10 other guys doing the same, and then we will do a questionnaire or something, and then we will ask the people, do you feeling better or do you not feeling better? I think the main issue will be my skin was affected because I fell asleep within the bath. Something like this. I don't know, but if you take a bath, maybe it's a good point to feel comfortable and to get relaxed again. Mm-hmm. And to, maybe it's also something that kind of spiritual or something, what is good for you, you choose on your own. And if you're feeling good within a bathtub, here you go.
Which probably ties into the relocating. I've gotten this a bunch of times. You feel terrible in bed. So you get up, and where do you go? You go to the couch, and you turn on the TV, and then you feel a little bit better, just the relocating.
Yeah, I think the people know best what is good for them, and then they will do. Mm-hmm. Because they had a good party last night, of course, but they want to go to the next party as well.
Another one I've gotten a lot of is exercise. People like to sweat it out.
No. This is not possible, because you cannot induce the degradation of alcohol by physical exercise.
Does it fall into maybe when you're exercising you want to drink more water?
Yeah. Maybe you're drinking more and your circulation is getting more in shape and you're feeling better and you do something. But if you're really drunk and you're doing exercise too much, I think this could be a problem, because you need to make sure that your circulation is stable. And if it's not, then you falling down. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Okay, some also said, okay, now I have to move. And if I'm laying down, I'm getting dizzy, and maybe the next step after dizziness, I start getting the nausea and vomiting. And if I move, it's getting better and getting better. And of course, something that happened might be they concentrate on their body. And and of course, if they walk, they also get their circulation in shape. And so the body is still working, but it takes the time that it will take to degrade the alcohol.
Interesting.
And it will not getting faster if you do excessive sport, but it might be better for you and the day after if you concentrate on your body, and if you feel like sleeping, then just go sleeping and try to drink some water before you go sleeping and something like that.
Christian, I love it. Okay, now, how about the classic, very dangerous hangover cure of the hair of the dog?
How to deal with hair of the dog? Or let's say, why not starting again with kind of drink? So the first opinion is, okay, you start to see onto things like it's a placebo, it's you're feeling blue, feeling great, it's kind of self-fulfilled prophecy. There's no good determination of a biomarker who measures the way of life. If you enjoy it, if it's part of vacation, holidays, and you're feeling good, why not? Just do it. But please don't do it daily. The second thing is, I mentioned it before, it's quite good to start with regeneration of your body, and your body actually started to regenerate, and the rest was good for the body, but you need water, and at least you don't need alcohol. You need also kind of food and maybe a rest. So from the physiological point of view, it's a betrayal to your body, and you not start drinking again, even not with the last kind of drink you had. And the third point is medical point of view. There is kind of that is really important how to deal with the hair of the dog. So imagine you had a punched or even a dirty drink full of methanol. Methanol is really, really strong poisoning, really dangerous. 50 grams of methanol, you're getting blind. 100 grams, you're dead. And methanol is metabolized by the same enzymes also used for the degeneration process of alcohol, and formaldehyde is produced. And what doctors do, they keep the concentration of ethanol in the blood constant by 1.0 per mil. And it will take a couple of hours, maybe day one, whatever, and the ethanol is deconstructed by the enzymes, and the methanol leaves the body by breathing. And so it's just this kind of medical combination, but this is kind of hair of the dog that should be controlled by professionals and medicine.
The weirdest one I have ever gotten, and we're going to wrap up with this one. He heard from someone that you should eat activated charcoal tablets the night before you go out drinking, and then you will not have a hangover. Is that something that would make any sense to you?
Okay. If we just get to one ingredient in alcohol that will also induce a hangover, these are the so-called fusel oils. These are higher complex ethanol products like 2-propanols or isopropanol or something like this. This occurs in beer and wine, but also in spirits like whiskey and brandy, but less in this like vodka. And they are free of these fusel oils. Okay, if you run your alcohol over this charcoal and you eliminate these fusel oils, then you will get a less hangover caused by fusel oils. But I think this is just experiment within the lab. You just please do not do this within your body to eat charcoal, because it will just also have a reaction on other physiological, very important ingredients in your body.
Excellent.
Because it's catalytic reaction within the body, and charcoal, you can use it, but before consumption of something. And it's just an experiment. Please don't do it at home, guys.
Christian, Tristan, thank you so much for answering all my questions, for doing all the research and preparing this for me. You're amazing. I am super excited that we got to do this. I really appreciate it very, very much. I hope that everyone enjoyed this information. I hope that you think about it, and I'm stoked we got to do this. Thanks, Christian. Cheers.
Cheers. So thank you for the invitation, and just wanted to make the last words for me. Knowledge is something that's very important, of course, and to be smart on something is also very cool, but if you try to drink, please drink less, and maybe drink even more with your friends, and don't drink alone at home. Maybe if you choose just one side, okay, take the party time, but please remind of good party times, and you want to get to the next party, and to the next, and to the next, and to the next. Maybe if you're old, yeah, of course, you don't want to go to your last party.
No. Cheers, thank you so much.
Thank you also very much, and have a good one.
Hey, thank you all so much for listening right to the end. You made it through all the way of all the negative things that happen when we enjoy alcohol. Now, with all of that being said, of course, drinking alcohol is super fun, but as Christian has been mentioning, in excess is extremely dangerous. So thank you to Christian for taking the time to very thoughtfully and thoroughly explain what happens when alcohol enters our body and what happens when we enjoy a little bit too much of it. So, with all of that being said, let us just reevaluate how much alcohol we are putting into our bodies so that we can enjoy living on this beautiful planet for that much longer. I know that after this conversation, it really changed my mental approach to alcohol, and I sincerely hope that it also had an effect on you. We can enjoy alcohol. I love it. Vox and Hops is all about enjoying life, metal, and craft beer, but we should reevaluate how much beer we have so that we can enjoy more of the life in the long run. If you enjoyed this Vox and Hops episode, you should subscribe to it on the podcast platform of your choice if you haven't already. But more than that, I'm asking you to take the time to rate it and write a review, because when you do that, more people just like yourself will be able to discover the Vox and Hops podcast. If you're looking to connect with other Vox and Hops heads, other people who enjoy life, metal, and craft beer, well, I have the perfect place for you. I have just launched the Vox and Hops metal community on Discord, and I have placed the invite for that server in the description of this podcast, and I strongly encourage you to join it because it's super fun. There's a bunch of really cool channels that I've set up, such as craft beer, metal, life. There's a whole meme section. You can't have a metal and craft beer server without the meme section. There's a movies channel. There's a podcast channel. I've been posting my prep work that I do before interviews. I've just been posting pictures of the sheets that I do after interviews so that you guys can glimpse into my mind and how it works before I conduct an interview. The invitation link for the Vox and Hops metal community on Discord is in the description of this podcast, and you should join because I want to hang out with you. Another way to stay in touch and to stay on top of everything that's going on in the world of Vox and Hops is by joining the party. That's right, join the Vox and Hops newsletter. You can do that on my website, voxandhops.com. That's VOXANDHOPS.com. And I shall be sending you one email a week containing all of the details of everything that has happened during the past week in the Vox and Hops metal podcast world, consisting all details of every episode I've dropped that week. If I've been a guest on someone else's podcast, podcast. There's the links to the Brutal Awakenings playlists. There's the links to any live interviews at Thirsty Thursday hangs that's going to be there. Do it. Sign up. Join the party. It's going to be a blast. The Vox and Hops Metal Podcast is brought to you by Sound Talent Media. I hope you guys have a glorious, glorious weekend. I know that I'm going to, and I hope that you do too. I will be back next week with 3 episodes once again. But until then, remember to enjoy life, metal, and craft beer. Cheers, Vox and Hops heads.